Hey friends, it's Michael, physical therapist at Total Physical Therapy. As of the recording of this video, it is January, which means we leapt into the new year, and it also means that a lot of you out there have leapt into a New Year's resolution, which is the granddaddy of them all. I am going to get back into the gym. So you have joined a gym, a fitness facility, or a group-led exercise session, and there are a small percentage of you in that boat that meet the criteria of being worried that you don't know what you're doing, or you are even worse, you're scared that you're going to hurt yourself. Now, this video is talking to you guys as well as the group of you that have not joined that exercise activity because of the same concerns. You don't know what you're doing, or you have a fear of actually harming yourself. Now, let it be known that you guys are not the minority, rather you are the majority. For many people, especially people that are newly established into an exercise regimen, those people are oftentimes having to overcome the first immediate hurdle and the barrier because that exercise is intimidating. That's natural, it's normal. You guys are having to overcome that barrier just like everybody else, okay? So there is nobody that enters into a exercise feat or an athletic endeavor that doesn't have some sense of doubt. Have to overcome that doubt, and we never overcome that doubt without getting started. Number one, start small. Let me emphasize one of those words, start, okay? Rule number one, do. Rule number two, do it again. Now, this is the first hurdle that you need to overcome once you get beyond that intimidation factor, and this is the hurdle of just getting the process initiated. You, just like everybody else that has come before you or will come after you, the regimented component of this is critical. You have to start with activities that you can manage. This can be simple as walking, okay? Now, we oftentimes find people that do start, but they emphasize the second word that I said, which is small. Now, it's okay to start small. It's not okay to stay small. You have to provide some type of adjustment or some type of change to the activity that you're doing to actually facilitate change, because ultimately everybody's going to improve until they hit that plateau, and then their gains will be incremental, or they'll actually regress if they don't change that stress. All right, so in summary, start, show up and do. Number two, do it again, repeat, okay? Topic number two, make it a regimen. The regimen does not mean make it every day, okay? We actually encourage people not to create a daily exercise regimen, because eventually either your body or your mind will falter, okay? So it's important to have days where you just simply are okay by not doing it, but you should kind of keep in mind that you should show up more days than not in a week, okay? So this might be 6 days, or it could be even less. Could be 3 to 4 to maybe 5 days, but it's okay to start that regimen, and within that regimen include rest recovery days. Okay, try different exercises. Just because your partner or your family member or your neighbor or your friend tells you that they absolutely love this class or they love this activity and they want you to join with them, it is okay not to love it. You need to try different elements to find what it is that you will enjoy. Now, let me elaborate a little bit. You do not have to be in love with the activity. You just have to have some little notion of, I would like to try this, okay? And so you may try an activity and you may feel like you don't like that activity, and you might do it just because you're encouraged to learn something new, and then you eventually fall off of that activity. And that's natural, that's normal. It's also normal to have individuals maybe months to even years later come back to that activity to rediscover that they like it more than they did the first time, because they're just naturally a little bit better in shape or a little bit better coordinated, and now that activity is very fun for them. In fact, I've had numerous clients through the years where we rehabilitated with a technique or an approach that was unfamiliar to them, and they've told me years removed from that at the time they just kept going because they knew that they were getting better, but they really weren't in love with that approach. Years later, though, to come back and fall in love with that type. I've had numerous people pick up a kettlebell years removed from actually having to do it in therapy, and now they're on regimented kettlebell programs, which is just fascinating to me. I see it time and time again, but I love seeing people try things, give it an opportunity, be willing to put it down, and then potentially reintroduce it or refamiliarize themselves with a approach at a later time. All right, now the big factor that I wanted to discuss in this, it is consulting a professional, okay? I find this time of year absolutely wonderful to be able to go consult with a physical therapist when it comes to some of those fears and those avoidance behaviors of starting a program, because what better opportunity to actually engage with an individual that knows not only the physical demands of exercise, but also has an idea and working knowledge of some of the potential comorbidities that you may be dealing with. So some of the other health conditions. Are you dealing with diabetes? Are you dealing with cardiovascular disease? Are you dealing with depressive states? Or are you dealing with recurrent issues of certain body parts? A physical therapist is going to be a wonderful opportunity for you to sit down and have a candid conversation with that individual to really just hone in on all of this stuff, put it together in a clear, concise path, and start that journey, okay? So I hope you found some value in this. If you did, like that video, smash the subscribe button, and if there's any other questions, comments, concerns, put those down in those comments below. I'm going to get back to you as soon as possible. As always, guys, have a beautiful day, and we'll talk to you soon.